Hello everybody and welcome back. We're on sheet 3 for the women's B qualifier. We got Team Cowan versus Team Kitazawa. Starting off with just some feeling out process, exchange of hits here. Starting just a touch earlier than the 9 o'clock time I was told about, so that, excuse me for missing the first couple of rocks. Alright, so just a bit of an over curl there from the Kitazawa lead. Leaving Cowan's rock in the back rings. She's just going to split the rings. It's a long time to hang on to split rings, but we'll see how they do. We got a bunch of C qualifiers for the men on all the other sheets that are in play. So on sheet 2, we have Team Krell versus Team Duncan Wu. And Krell again, Richard's not here this weekend, so they're playing S3, and Dan Wenzek is skipping them. Then on sheet 4, we have Team DeYoung versus Team Dangerfield. And they play each other a lot in Victoria, so they should be pretty familiar with each other. Team 5 sees Team Tolley versus Team Thompson. And that's it. Nobody's on sheet 1 or sheet 6. So all of the games, 2, 4, and 5, it's a win and you're in. You're the C qualifier into the playoffs. Lose and you're going home. Our feature sheet here on sheet 3, the winner goes through to the playoffs. The loser will play again tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Nobody wants to play again tomorrow at 9 a.m., so I expect both of them to do their best to avoid that situation. Now, Team Cowan came up short on their draw to split the house, and so Kitazawa taking advantage and hiding a rock behind the inadvertent guard. And we're going to get our first run of the game. Oh, and that's just over curling on them. Removes the guard, can't roll on, but kind of guards her rock in the rings. Still wide open on the outturn side. It looks like they're going to go after it there. Alright. It's sweeping hard for curl here. First throw out this wide. If I could just ask Sandra to stop moving directly in my way every time I move over to try and see. So, just a little wide, rolls out. Sheila's going to call for the hit now. Try and keep everything on the open side, I would think. We're back to working towards a blank. Momentary flirtation with doing something in the first end. Oh. Jody's pretty wide. Rolls out. And Kitazawa's going to try and hide another one. Just trying to draw around the corner, make life difficult for Sheila and her team. Stay above the tee if possible. Got by with room to spare. Is it gonna tuck under? I think that's still open. You can see at least half of that. Jody's gonna chase it here. Now, that draw didn't curl a whole lot. Oh, but that hit's going. And she's all over that guard. She must have got that started, I would think. Well, that's a break for Kitazawa. Twice now this first end looked like we were headed towards a blank, but a couple of missed shots and changing gears. Now it's Kitazawa trying to split the house. Well, that's all three of them sweeping it. The thrower got up and started helping. Now all four of them out. That's in the house. Never a doubt. And Sheila's just going to try the hit and roll over, try and get somewhere near the other Kitazawa rock. See if maybe it leaves her a double on her last. I think you're hoping for a good make on yours and a half make on theirs, which is never ideal to hope for. Pretty sure Sheila got that one going. Right behind her as she delivers. It looked like she turned her wrist over pretty good. Yeah, almost dead on the nose. Calling for sweeping right out of the hand. Now, she does leave it in a spot where Kitazawa will have to roll on if they decide to hit. I think they might just draw around that. She just came down and cleaned the ice faster than any sweeper I've ever had on any team I've ever been on. I think I just got tired watching it.
I was going to say the same thing. She must have played front end at one point in her career, or she just has a lot of nervous energy.
Or we're just old.
Well, that's true.
I mean, that's a possibility here. All right. Make this draw around. You're pretty close to guaranteed a deuce. first end. I don't imagine Sheila's going to try a freeze or anything. Just hit the open one, hope for a rollout on your last. Well, that's far less sweepers. There we go. That's pretty perfect. Right on the tee line. And as I suspected, Sheila's just going to hit the open one. It's kind of conceding a deuce, but there's not much else you can do here. Hit, roll in a tiny bit, force them to hit yours. Hope for a rollout. All right. That looks pretty good. Should get a little roll. There you go. Well, that's what she wanted out of that one. Now she has to hope that Kitazawa holds up their end of the bargain and rolls out for her. Okay, has nothing to do with our game, Derek, but I looked over at the other sheet and I could have sworn Dangerfield had an advert that said Atlas Adult Video on the back of his jacket. I was like, well, that's pretty daring. Good for you, Neil. But it says audio video. And I just can't read. So. And Kitazawa's last looking pretty good. I think they're just going to nose this. Oh, little roll to the outside. Nice shot for two. Good start. Just shows they're not going to be able to get away with a lot of half shots today, I don't think, or tonight. It's going to have to be a little more precise.
Yeah, in their earlier match, Kitazawa scored one, and then she stole one for like 5 consecutive ends before taking 3. It was not a good outing for Cowan then, but hopefully things turn out a lot more better for them tonight.
That's the worst. Give up one, steal one, steal one, steal one, steal one. It's death of a million cuts.
Yeah.
Hurts. All right, Derek, you want to take us around the rings?
Yeah, except no one seems to want to put up their score. So still no score yet on sheet 2. And there was a blank on 4. And on sheet 5, we do have a score. Tully got 1. So it's 1-0 for Tully over Thompson as they play in the second. So, not to slag our front ends, but I wouldn't mind having Kitazawa's front end for my club team. I wouldn't have to make a shot all year. They would make them all for me.
I just want to see you do the jump up, chase your own rock, and help them sweep it.
Yeah. Well, I will say the couple times I've played doubles, you will have seen me do that, but it's not pretty.
I don't even try. I throw with a crutch. I'm not doing that. Alright, Kitazawa put up a somewhat center-ish guard. I can't quite tell if it's touching the center or not. Sandra trying to come around it, but she's a bit heavy. And by a bit heavy, I mean hack. So, sails on through the house. Yeah, looking at the monitor, it looks like it's just touching the center line. I mean, they didn't try to take it anyway, so it didn't really matter. But so, Team Kitazawa with a good chance to bury one under their own guard.
Very patient.
Here's that late finish we saw in the last game. Comes over nicely if you just wait long enough. Little deep though. She goes back 4 and that'll give Cowan an out. I think they're asking Sandra to remove this rock. They're not just going to freeze down to it. Oh, and they got on it for curl, but it over curled and ticked the guard. Not sure what happened there, if there was a miscommunication in the weight, so Sheila thought I was going to make it by, or she changed to plan B. But felt like if you swept that for hold it straight right at the end there, you would have made the shot you called.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought she tightened up the ice, and considering the last one was a hack, I didn't think they had to tighten the ice. So
Well, either way, it was a miss. Kitazawa's going to take advantage of it here. Good bump right on the nose. Slight roll in. Might leave a double here. I don't think they're going to take it on, though. Nope, just a hit and roll under. Sweepers are on and off this one. A little bit of finish at the end. That's a nice roll. That's a good shot from Victoria. Kitazawa talking about it now, trying to decide if the freeze is the course of action they'd like to pursue. Not sure what they settled on here.
I think based on the line, she's probably asking for backline hack. Although, ooh, she's out wide.
Yeah, she set that one out pretty good. A lot of sweep for curl, but I'm not sure it's going to get all the way back there. takes its time coming across the center line. If you set it out on the wrong side, it's going to take a little while to come back.
Or if you threw helicopters like them.
Yeah.
That's the real reason the rocks won't stay. Theirs do anyway. It's probably been quite an adjustment for them, right? Getting used to the slam ice and the hills. Sweet.
That's a break Cowan needed. They can get rid of this one and stick in the rings. They'll be setting up their end pretty good so far. Going pretty hard on this. Can't see the rock through Sheila, so. Oh, yeah. Nice shot. Does leave an angle for a double. So we get to see our first bigger weight shot of the game. Ooh. She really set that one as well. Just under. Clipped it, but not enough to get rid of it, and rolled under. That one moved quite a bit, considering she set it out pretty good on that release. Sheila asking Jody just to split the rings again. Uh-oh. Front end says it's hot. That turns out pretty good. Nice and even with the other one. Looking at maybe hitting and rolling all the way to the other one. Decided hitting and rolling under the guard is a better plan. Asking for board weight. There we go.
Basically nobody up there, so I'm just basing it off this.
Anything rough.
Yeah, but I wrote that out, but it is something like this that needs to be posted with her, so Shane, let me just, you copy something and
Yeah, where's the...
to get,
I shouldn't be
like
putting my...
that's what
I
this.
shouldn't be putting my hands on this. This is not my job.
Oh, I can
No,
do
no,
it.
I mean, I don't want to jump in with you if someone else needs to.
This is kind of for, no, this is for you as well.
Well, got the hit and roll in, but little more than they wanted, and so this leaves a fairly open hit and roll attempt for Cowan.
And that's in detail upstairs. There's an envelope that has for the winnings $90 and another envelope that has 75 and the other half of the rock.
Yep.
Nice shot. Looks like she's got it at least half buried.
Yeah, I think at least half. Not that it's so far back, I don't think it matters a whole bunch to Kitazawa. They're going to try and come under there and make it difficult for Sheila to remove it. Didn't see the wake call, but I can't imagine it's too much. Pounding it for curl. Nice job getting that to walk over a little bit. They roll out into the open, which makes it a little easier. You're going to have to talk to Sheila and Jody about standing on the backboards right in front of us. Makes it hard to commentate when you can't see anything going on the sheet. It's bad enough with the Rhino boys standing in front of us. Alright, so here comes Sheila's first. She has a nice little hit and flop. Trying to carve it. Been on it for curl the whole way. She's got it for sure. They're just trying to get the roll. A little bit of a roll. I think she tucked mostly under there. Probably see about a third of it. On there, lining up the angle to see if they can make a double now. Think, yep, looks like they're going to take the double on. Here she goes. Oh, they're on it out of her hand. Is that going to get by the guard? No. Oh, she gets lucky and takes the back one out anyway. Could have been disaster. Could have been a 3, but a lucky bounce. She'll have to draw in for her 2. Got a whole gang of people in black jackets right in front of where they're throwing. All right, here comes the last last rock of end 2. Yeah, it is curling early. Sweepers have been working it the whole way down. I think she's going to be fine, though. Yeah, not bad. I curled a lot.
So it's all even on our sheet, 2-2 after 2. Over on sheet 2, they had a blank in 1, and then Krell scored 2, so it's 2-zip for Krell over Duncan Wu. Sorry, I couldn't see the name. Thank you. And over on sheet 5, looks like Tolley stole one, so they're now up 2-0 with Thompson. And what's really interesting is on sheet 4, there's 12 rocks in play. 10 of them are in the house. And the last rock is coming in.
Oh, yeah. There's 12 in the house and 14 in play. It's only one rock out.
Only, oh, yeah. Sorry. I lost count. It's 12 in the house. And that's at least 2, maybe 3, 4. There's a couple they're going to have to measure, I think. Yeah, definitely. Someone decided to go all in on this end, and the other team decided to go in as well. So we'll have to wait to see on the measure what the final tally was. I'll lock it, or I'll put my key in and come out.
Oh, we're back on our sheet. So it was 2 for Cowan. We're tied up going into the third. I'm going to throw up the center guard. And Team Kitazawa electing to come around it. And get by. It goes just behind the tee. They needed to sweep that for line, so it carried it a little further than they wanted. I think Team Cowan wastes no time. They're going to freeze right to that. Try and make the scoring area very small for Team Kitazawa. They're going to have to deal, if they get this in well, they're probably 2 rocks away from being able to be shot. Just a bit heavy. Sander bounces off that one. Kitazawa is going to hit that one and roll away. At least that seemed to be the indication. Going hard on this one for Curl. She should get a piece of it. It's coming over nice. She is going to roll out, though. Cowan electing to remove this rock. Asking for a hack weight here from Victoria. That one looked close out of the hand. They can hold it. Well, I might even get a tiny roll under. There you go. That's a pretty darn good shot. Now they're going to follow it down, but hopefully roll away. Try and get play away from that center. Well, they're going on it hard for curl. Might have got that one out a little bit. Gonna get a piece of it. Just enough to get rid of it, but they roll out as well. Had our first broom slam. I just didn't know what sheet it came from. I suspect 5. Alright, asking Victoria to come around the guard now. Try and get their top 4, put some pressure on Kitazawa. Force him to make a couple nice ones. That looks light. And it is. Just barely to the level of the original guard. Not at all what they were hoping for. It's going to give Kitazawa the chance to come around now. Beat them to the center. Here we go. Sweepers jump it out of her hand. But settle down. Maybe the weight's not quite as bad as they thought it was to begin with. Actually, it looks a little heavy, if anything. It's coming around. Yeah, it's going to slide behind the tee. So, bit of a panic right at the beginning from the front end. Turned out it was just fine. Now there. Slid it just half a rock too deep. If Jody can lock this one on, it's going to be a little bit of a pain to deal with. That seems very wide. It's starting to break now. I'm not sure it's getting all the way back to that rock, though. Ooh. Just ticked off it. Maybe half a rock wide. Just missing the way you can't afford to miss. You're given too many chances. Alright, so Team Kitazawa's turn. Try and get out of there. And jump on this rock again out of the hand, but they haven't let up. So I'm going. Now they're taking a look. Starting to curl in there. That looks like it's coming in pretty good for what they wanted. There you go. That is going to take some work. Never a lot of fun when you're trying to steal, but you gotta run your own center just to get stuff off the button.
At least they've got the center to run back. So, and it's not overlapped. So that's the one nice thing about those two rocks out front.
Yeah, good point. They could have cornered up those two guards, and that wouldn't have helped at all. This one's a little wide again. I don't think they're gonna touch the blues. But they did open it up. That was the trouble with Jody's first one. Just a little heavy. Just ticked and rolled off. Gave them the opening. They made the shot she was trying to make, and now you're chasing. But you're running out of rocks. There's only 2 rocks left to chase with. If they make this guard well, Sheila's going to have a decision to make for sure. I think she probably tries to run again on her first, just to move things around. Give herself some room to get another one in there if she has to.
Seems a little wide, but it's coming.
Well, it came all the way back to the center line. I think it's a little deeper than what they wanted, but does the job of protecting the 2 rocks that are in the rings.
Yeah, it's only a foot deeper than really what her skip was calling, so I think Nakajima should be happy with that one. But still, a little bit shorter of a run back. Should be a little easier, but
And talking about maybe drawing in. Problem is, Kitazawa is definitely lying 2 right now. Draw in, hoping that you'll still have something on your last. I guess you'll have the run either way, but... Alright, well, let's see. Alright, Cowan's first here. Trying to corner freeze. Front end got on that one pretty quick out of her hand. Is she going to squeeze by that guard?
nope.
No, just wicked off it. That's a tough one. Now they're talking about whether there's a port they could draw down to their two that are already scoring? Or do they hit the one in the top 8 and just flop over and block all of Sheila's paths? I think if you hit that red and you flop a little bit towards the center line, I think Sheila has to run one of them in. Hope that the one she runs doesn't stick around. She gets rid of at least the back one. Maybe they have a tough draw to score two. We'll see. They got to make the hit and flop first. Looks good out of the hand. Not much of a roll, but they did take out the only Cowan rock in the rings.
That's ugly.
So now they're lying 4. I'm not sure there's a big enough port for them to draw down, so I think she's still throwing the run. I'm talking about doubling off the top 2 and just rolling in, conceding 2. Tough situation for Team Cowan. I don't see anything else. You run one of those guards into the pile in the middle. That middle one's not going anywhere, and you're hoping the one you ran disappears along with the back one. This is a easier double to guarantee 2 of them go away. Unless you're me, in which case there is no such thing as an easy double. I'd probably just nose one of these. Probably nose the one on the center line and not hard enough to get rid of the back one when it falls into the pile.
Ooh.
There you go. So she doesn't make the double. I'm not sure that was the call. And she rolls in. Half buried under the blue. Pretty tricky hit for 4 or a pretty easy draw for 3. Talking about it now. Is it worth the risk to go after that red? I think they decided that it's not worth it. Just take the draw. 3 is still a lot. Just need full 8. Just getting information from the front end about the path. How much she wants to throw here. Or I don't know, maybe talking about lunch plans. I'm not out there. I don't know what they're talking about. No panic from the front end. They're just kind of keeping it clean. They haven't backed all the way off. Let's see if Jody can get this out the back of the house. Oh, and it just comes to a stop in the back eight. Full back eight. Just enough to score a 3. So it'll be 5-2 for Kitazawa, and we'll be going into the 4th.
Okay, looking around the rings. On sheet 2, Duncan Wu scored 1 in the 3rd, so it's now 2-1 for Krell. On sheet 4, where there was a lot of rocks in play in the second end, only ended up for 2 points for Dangerfield. So they're now up 2-0 as the first end was a blank. And on sheet 5, looks like N3 was a blank. So Tolley still is up 2-0 over Thompson.
Dion must have scored in the 3rd because he just threw first in the 4th. They just haven't put the score up. So we got a big 3 points for Kitazawa on our feature sheet here, sheet 3. And Sheila and company are going to have some work cut out for them here. But they did come back and answer the 2 spot from Kitazawa in the 1st with a 2 spot of their own. So let's see if they can manufacture 3 here in the 4th. So I didn't see the first call, whether she wanted a guard or top 4, but either way, the lead's first rock is half in the 12, it looks like to me. Maybe 3/4. Not where they wanted it. Sandra tries to throw the corner guard, but she also comes in the house. That is not the start Team Cowan needed if they're going to try and score 3 here. So Team Kitazawa elected to hit and roll. Don't roll all the way. Kind of over curled, so they didn't get the roll they were hoping for. Cowan's not trying the double. Instead, choosing to hit the center line rock and roll away. Nice shot from Sandra. She hangs on just on the edge of the 12. Kitazawa's going to hit that. And they do hit it, but they don't roll in. Interesting to see what Sheila does now. That's a wide corner she's trying to hide behind. Good throw from Victoria. I'm just trying to get it in the right spot now. Might have waited just a hair too long to start sweeping that one. Oh, she's in the rings, but not underneath the corner guard. Just waited just a touch too long to get on that one. Team Kitazawa going to chase that one. Try and roll back towards the center. Which they do quite successfully. Good shot. Asking Victoria for a hit and roll. She still wants to try and use that Kitazawa stone out wide. So she's trying to hit and roll under that. But just noses it instead. Oh, they're pounding this for curl. They don't get the roll under. I think they decided to roll wide again. Well, that needs to curl a little bit. She's not going to get enough of it. She's rolling out. Team Kitazawa coming in around their top 12 rock. Trying to use it as a guard. It's just barely in the house, so it's basically a 3 guard. over this one. It needs to curl though. It's going to be top 4, but I think it'll still be mostly open. Well, 3 is pretty hard to get. You only got 3 rocks left, and you haven't made this wide hit and roll at all so far this end. I don't know, Derek. I might be tempted to run the double, get my blank back on the board if I'm not going to score 3. Even 2 looks a little iffy at this point.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. At what point is she going to, go for the blank or continue to try? It's getting a little late, but looks like she still wants to manufacture something out of this.
Yeah, I think the last indication I saw was her asking Jody to come around to everything, to the back 4.
If that was the call, you'd think she'd come the other way.
Yeah,
They
haven't thrown anything that way though, so maybe she was a little worried they didn't know the path. Well, she makes this. It's coming a little deeper than they wanted. Still outcounts the top one, I think.
Yeah, still second.
Not sure. I mean, even if she made that perfectly, it's a really short run for Kitazawa on a rock that's, looking at the monitor, looks like at least 3/4 open. It's not like you got to throw a bullet at it. You can just throw hack weight and get that red rock out of there and be lying too. I'm not sure that call was super helpful even if she makes it. But Kitazawa's just going to come down and freeze on top of theirs. And we'll see how Sheila deals with that with 2 rocks remaining. I mean, she does have one in the rings. If she can figure out a way to get rid of the 2 that are in the middle, she'll be lying 2. What do I know? Miracle 3 could happen here. Well, she comes up short of the freeze, but they do guard. That's a pretty good guard. Let's see what Team Cowan decides to do here. Well, from where they were tapping their broom, yeah, it looks like they just want to come top button, maybe just partially under the blues, make it really hard to remove. I think Kitazawa would just throw, if enough of it is sticking out on the center line side, she'll just peel it out of there. And if not, they should have the double run. on the outside. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. I would do my patented throw it through the house. I should trademark that. I do it so often. Just getting a head start and getting the rocks ready for the next end. That's what I'm doing. She comes up just late. Out counting the top one still, I think. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And gives herself a short angle run. Now Kitazawa has to be pretty careful where she puts her last. Did you ever just draw full 8 wide open?
Yeah, actually. The only risk there is you leave an in off, right? So that would be the risk on that. You'd want it deep.
Yeah.
Right behind.
Yeah. T-line or even a little bit deeper.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think coming in this way buys her anything because the risk of hitting another rock out of the way and opening things up, right? Or so if you wanted just a second rock, go behind the tee line on the left.
Yeah, they might, they haven't thrown a lot of rocks that direction, this end. But I mean, they have before. Other ends, they've come that way. The beginning of this end, they came that way. I think looks like they've decided to freeze down to the back one, though.
Yeah, probably more because they've seen this path. Everyone's been playing it, so they probably have a better sense of it. But
No, I think they just didn't think about coming wide open in the back 8. That's just our amazing curling knowledge coming to the forefront here, Derek.
or maybe that just shows how defensive we have to play with our teammates in front of us.
Oh, wow. Throw your teammates under the bus. Yikes.
And Stacy, if you're watching, I didn't mean you.
Totally meant you, Stacy. Was talking about you before the broadcast. Not good. All right. They make the freeze. They take any potential for multiples away, I think. And maybe that's why they're doing this instead of the stuff I called. And as I said during the Tanaka-Wakefield game, if anybody's listening to the commentators and thinking we're giving them good strategy, they deserve to lose the game, to be honest. Well, I think that's just as good.
Same shot we called, just not on the center line.
They half listened. They dragged that back far enough that if Sheila comes down to it, she's not going to be shot, I don't think.
Definitely not.
All right, so tried hard to manufacture more than one, but I still think she should have tried that double when she had the chance for it. Either early in the end on Sandra's second or a little later in the end on Jody's rocks. She had another chance to make a double and get herself out of jail here. They tried hard to manufacture multiples, and now she's drawn against 2. She needs full 4. There's a lot of yelling. Can't see anything through the mess. And that's a nice draw. Good sweep. Good team shot. She gets her 1. She'll be a little disappointed with only scoring 1 there, but that was Gotta have a disappointing end. That's a good rock to end it on. Give you some confidence going into the next one. So, with 4 ends down, it will be 5-3 for Kitazawa.
As we look around the rings, I see that on sheet 2, Krell got another 2 in the 4th. So they're now up 4-1, I believe. So definitely Duncan Wu has the work cut out for them to bridge that gap. On sheet 4, De Jong scored 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. So they're currently up 3-2 against Dangerfield. And on sheet 5, we have another tall guy blocking the board. I see there was a blank in 4. I think there was a blank in 3 and 4.
Yep.
So it's still 2-0 for Tolley over Thompson. So, I mean, it's not impossible, but I think Cowan has a tough road against a team that likes to hit and likes to keep the game simple. So it's going to be hard for them to, maybe get a steal. I think is something they could do, but to manufacture 2s and 3s is going to be hard because this team can really lock it down from what they've shown so far in this tournament.
Yeah, we're running out of time for perfect curling math to work. If they force him here, and then they take 2, and they force and they take 2. Sheila's in the way of the score. I can't tell what that. So if they force Kitazawa here, it is 6-3.
Yeah.
They take 2, it's 6-5. Force him again, 7-5. Take 2. It's a tie game, and you don't have hammer in the extra. I mean, I guess if you told them that right now, they'd take it, but somewhere in there, they're going to have to find a steal. I think they're asking Sandra to freeze to the blue. She's going to come up a bit light, though. Not bad, though. Half a rock away. Pretty good shot. We had another broom slap. That was definitely over on sheet 5. It was Mr. Tolley. He was upset with his first shot. I have no idea what happened, but it wasn't good. All right, Kitazawa drawing open. Back house. And Sheila asking Victoria to just come around everything. Put it in the full 4. Use all of those rocks in the top house and that 3 guard to their advantage. Sweeper's got on that one right out of her hand. Starting to curl. I think she's on that top guard. Yeah, that was like 12 feet light. That's a rough one. And the peeling begins. Oh, not quite what they were hoping for. It stayed out a little wide. It left that red guard up there. Got rid of one, but left one. So she'll get another shot at this. Alright, just from personal point of view, do you like having the same shot twice in a row? You missed the first one, you get to try it again?
I'm a 50-50 curler, so I always love that second shot because I almost always make it.
I hate it. I am a not good curler, so you feel like you should make it. You feel like you let your team down with the first one, and then I end up constantly doing, going a little too deep because I was late on the first one, or a little late because I was overcompensating. It's a story of my life, Derek. I don't need to talk about that, but still, that's what's going on. All right, so she got one around. It's back, just biting the back 4.
Straight peel here.
Yeah. Just trying to remind myself of where the blue rock was, but Kitazawa's crouched over it, so yeah, it's a red shot, but it's biting the back 4. I'm just going to replace that guard. Play that game for a couple rocks, I would think, as long as the guard gets in a reasonably good position. I think Kitazawa's going to have to peel it each time. This one looks pretty good coming from Jody here. It's coming in nice. Just gotta get a little over that center line. Yeah, it's a pretty good guard. Yep. There she calls the peel. Here we go. Just gets the one. That's all they were concerned about. Jody will put it back. I think they'll peel again, and then we'll have decisions to make on skip rocks. I'll be honest, I make all my decisions on third rocks. If Corey can't save the end, we're screwed. It's not happening. Alright, Jody's just got to cross the center line with this one again. Pretty much exactly where her last one was. That's pretty good. I don't think they're doing anything but peeling that one. Oh, all right. Talking about maybe coming in. But they go back to the peel. I absolutely would have called Corey to come in on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I like the peel here as well. So, I mean, what do you do now if you're Cowan? You do another peel, and then on the second one, just try to come in so you're out counting a stone. What do you do?
Well, I think if Kitazawa makes this peel, you got to decide. You got to ask yourself if she's going to peel again if you throw up the guard. And I don't think she will. She was tempted to come in already. I think if you throw up another guard, she's coming in for sure because she's going to have to beat you in. So just like Jody and Sheila are talking there, you got to get in first and try and find a way that doesn't leave her a double. So half tucked, top 4, pretty good shot. And it leaves Kitazawa with a tough one on their last. And that's why I would have asked Corey to come in on her last, because I'm not making this, and she normally does. I hope Corey never listens to this. She's gonna be like, well, I should skip, and I'm useless for anything else, so. Alright, if she makes this good, she's putting quite a bit of pressure on Kitazawa. She's gonna have to make a couple of good ones. Oh, we have our first final. Team Krell over Duncan Wu. Looks like a score is 7-1.
No, I just didn't throw that very well. Yeah, well, I knew from my release that I softened it rather than attacking it.
And Sheila comes up light. Corner freezes her own top 12 rock.
I felt like I was sweeping that game. Oh, you guys were going good. Curling good. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, we had
Now
chances.
Kitazawa has to decide whether she wants to get in there first
Well, really one
or if she can make this double. Because if she can make the double, that leaves her rock available for a short run if she needs it.
not really. Yeah. I was gonna trade you mine, but I don't actually care. I like mine instead of both. I mean, that was courtesy of TRH. She was mint condition for a few times. Sweet. Thanks. Thanks to them.
Well, the whole team coming down to chat about it. Looks like they're choosing to try and make the double. They're still talking about it. I think that's what I would call as well. Difference is they think they'll make it, and I hope we'll make it. So. I think making this double gives them a lot of options on her last. If you try and come around this and you don't make it, you could put yourself in a bad situation. Just trying to figure out the best angle to hit this at. I think that's what they're talking about. Again, maybe they're talking about lunch for tomorrow. Just trying to get Team Cowan so cold they can't play anymore.
I mean, that could be a valid strategy, but no, I think it's really just indecision down here, which is, I think, is kind of confusing because I agree with you. The easy thing that gives them more options is take the hit and see what's left with it. And he gives you a chance. Again, they're up. They're happy to take one at this point. They don't need to manufacture two.
All right, everybody, you heard that. Somebody agreed with one of my calls. You know, they could just be employing the old Brent Pierce strategy of just standing around until everybody gets so annoyed that they don't want to play anymore, and then you eventually just wear them out and you win. It's valid. It works. As long as there's no time clocks. All right, here we go. Throwing the double that we called 3 hours ago. Good job. And she noses it and doesn't go anywhere. Gets rid of her one. That was kind of top 8-ish. I mean, it's still the same scenario we were talking about, but her run back's a little longer now. All right, so Sheila needs to make a good one here. All right, here we go. Sweepers didn't seem too concerned about it to begin with. Looks like she's got some room. It's coming over now. By the guard. That's a pretty good shot. I'm just going to have to throw the straight run and hope they don't roll off anywhere.
Just wanted to make sure you didn't feel like I was sliding.
No worries.
All right, well, this is why you played that double. You wanted the option for this.
What's up, buddy? Nothing. Don't be too sad. Yeah. I think I'm gonna try no glitching beers from now on. I think there's a correlation. You just said that was working so well last time. Well, no, because this morning I didn't drink this morning and I felt pretty good. And it was the 19 minutes.
Oh, and she is wide on that one. All right. Steal a 2 for Cowan. Man, I should have checked. Is it Cowan or Cowan?
I believe it's Cowan.
Okay. I think somebody smarter than me would have asked them before the game, but
Someone may correct us one day.
all right, we are tied up. I think Kitazawa spent so much time talking about that shot, they froze themselves out. It's like icing the kicker, but they did it to themselves. So we are 5-5 after 5 coming into the 6.
Yeah, I have to agree. I do think they froze themselves out. And, you know, I mean, Cowan went for the more aggressive call. You know, she could have taken the one out on the side and said, okay, get your one. But she said, no, I want to try the steal here and force Kitazawa into something she just didn't make. So good for them. If we look around now on the other sheets, on sheet 4, it looks like Dangerfield got one in the 5th, so they are now tied up 3-all with De Jong. And over on sheet 5, after 2 blanks in 3 and 4, Thompson got 1 in the 5th. So that is a whopping 2-1 score after 5 for Tollett over Thompson. And it's not for lack of trying, because every time I look over, I see like half a dozen rocks in play as we get late into the end, 6, 8 rocks. And but somehow they've managed a couple blanks and a bunch of singles. So I guess the question now is, does Kitazawa get in their own head, or do they get themselves going again here and finish this game off?
Yeah, I think this end's going to be pretty important. 6th end, they're going to definitely want to score in this end, retain hammer in the even ends. So I expect they'll go hard for their 2, but they'll be okay with just taking 1 if they have to. But they definitely don't want to risk a steal, and I think they'd rather avoid a blank. Unlike sheet 5, I love blanks over there. I think Pat Ryan's playing on sheet 5, I think. So. All right, good center guard from Sandra. Nice corner from Team Kitazawa. So far, so good. Leads are perfect. Didn't ask them to hit. They're doing great. Oh, Sandra, I just praised the leads. What are you doing to me?
Well, she had 1 center guard, which is more than some of the guys we've seen throw this weekend.
Yeah, Daniel. Brutal. All right, well, she threw a corner. Bounced off her own center and ended up a corner. Not what they were hoping for. Kitazawa's just going to come around their own corner now. And she makes this. We're 4 rocks into the end, and Cowan's already chasing. It just goes to show how important those lead rocks can be. Yep, really nice come around. Well, try and get under center again. Oh, we got our next broom slap from Alex Horvath, but he smashed his delivery broom. So parts of it went flying everywhere. I felt like it probably wasn't a good shot when Cam walked away talking to himself, but I have confirmation now. I wasn't really watching, but there's a lot of red in the rings for the Dangerfield now. Back to our sheet after that brief distraction. All right, Team Cowan making a really nice one here. Just needs to curl just a tiny bit more. Top button under their center. Yeah, nice recovery. Kitazawa trying to peel now.
Peel with a little flop to the right for additional cover wouldn't be a bad result here.
Well, now you're getting fancy. 2 shots in 1. But they're just going to roll out. Job done, though. They needed to get rid of that guard.
100%.
I like this call. I'm trying to take out the corner and roll to a center. Even if you don't roll perfectly to the center, you got to deal with that corner at some point. You might as well do it now. Just depends on, what your end strategy was. Were you really hoping to steal again here? Or are you okay with a force? Look at that spin back. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Look at that. Pretty good.
Nice shot by Victoria.
Oh, Sheila's pretty happy with it. Alright, Peel coming up here. Oh. Maybe try. Oh, nice roll for another corner. And just
all right.
trading really nice shots.
Back to back. That was great. Both of them getting a little benefit of that little extra turn at the last moment.
Yeah, that spin back never works for me. Often works against me, but never for me.
I've had it spin back into the open.
Yeah, I've had it spin back where it's no longer a guard, or the opponent rock spin back in for the, fifth point, just to rub salt in the wounds. Sorry if we sounded a little bit distracted on the past couple shots, but Alex destroyed his broom in front of us and then ran in to do repairs, and I don't think either one of us wanted to talk a lot while he was in here. He looked very angry and kind of scary, so we just let him be. But we're back to the action now. Another good hit and roll off the corner. Kitazawa pounding this one for curl. Trying to roll on top of that red. Not quite what they were hoping for. Gonna take a good shot by Jody to remove it though. It's half on that red.
Yeah. Definitely a well-placed roll.
Alright. Like this, Sheila's going for the wide rock and then rolling in. They make this roll. It's they make the roll well. There's hopefully no double left for Kitazawa. Well, they're on it for curl. Wow. All right. That steal of 2 is giving Team Cowan some confidence there, making everything this end.
Yeah.
Well, except for that come around from Sandra. That didn't work out.
You always dwell on the negative.
Well, I got to tease her a little bit.
I mean, really what we've had here was, 4 or 5 good shots in a row, hitting flops, great rolls. I mean, really, they're putting on a bit of a show here in the 6th end.
Yeah. You remember when she missed her second one, though? It's like it never happened with the way the end has gone on. Another nice shot. Makes some room. Moves the reds around. Kitazawa lying 1, but it's wide open. An interesting call here for Sheila. Which way does she want to roll? You can't just nose it. A lot of discussion about it. I think. Oh, no, they're still talking. Thought they had decided to roll under their own guard. I still think that's the call. You know, it's a winner-go-home game because we're getting a lot of frustrated broom slaps and thumps on the backboards here. Alright, Jody shot looking pretty good. Oh no. Swept it for curl when they didn't have to. Sorry, Sheila shot. Jody was in the house. Swept it for curl when they didn't have to, and they ended up over curling, rolling the wrong way. Alright, so Kitazawa's going to try and make the shot Sheila was just trying to make. Hit and roll under, half under the red guard, on top of the red that's in the back eight for shot. Really hard for Sheila to get rid of that. Really dangerous rock for Kitazawa on her last. Now, if they get to exactly where they want to go, do you think Sheila takes on the crosshouse double there? Let's see where this ends up first. Oh, I think that's curling a little more than they wanted it to. Yeah, they don't get it quite where they wanted. Gives Sheila another chance for the shot she called the first time. Just a little less weight than they were expecting, I think. Alright, she makes the roll here. That's puts a lot of pressure on Kitazawa. I mean, it's an open draw to the 4, but much like throwing the same shot twice, I hate that. And they are on it out of her hand. That looks like it is curling a lot through, trying to see through the sea of bodies. Don't jam it. Oh no. That is trouble. That is. We went from look at all these amazing shots to oh no. Now a nose hit for Kitazawa for 3, like almost out of nowhere. Just bad luck. Over curled a lot. We are at broom slap number 17, I think. From Cam Weir. Come on, Cam. Fan favorite, Cam Weir, slamming his broom. Pressure's getting to them. And right on the schnoz. 3 for Kitazawa. That's shaping up to be a really interesting end. And a good chance to force Kitazawa to make a good one on her last, and just over curled on Sheila's last. Rolled open. Unfortunate it is. That's going to make it 8-5 after 6. 8-5 for Kitazawa.
Yeah, so meanwhile on the other two sheets that we're kind of passively watching, there is definitely a lot of broom slapping going on. We saw one broom get broken, have to be repaired. Definitely the nerves are tight in these games. They're both tied up right now, but I think we're missing the sixth score on sheet 4 here. So I don't know where. Yeah. And on 5 after 6, it's tied up 2-2. Thompson got the 1. So again, the just ones or blanks seems to be all that's on the menu on sheet 5. It definitely in this final C finals to see if you advance or not, the emotions were getting a little high as the Duncan Wu Krell game ended. I did hear one member of Duncan's team suggest that maybe they won't drink beer anymore. I'm not sure how well that'll stick because his teammate laughed. So, but it's Saturday night and a cash bond spiel. What else can you ask for?
We could ask somebody to bring us down drinks. Tough to order while we're talking on air here. Yeah, somebody disavowed pregame beers, and I'm not going to mention any names, but they are dead to me. I don't understand that at all. So back to our sheet, where people are curling really well, and when they miss, they don't slam their brooms all over the place. Unfortunately, Sandra just came into the rings. Commentator's curse. I just said everybody's curling really well. So Kitazawa's going to hit this one. Try and roll in front of hers. Doesn't get the roll, just a nose hit there. They might have called for the nose hit there just to block off one of the wings from Cowan. So they're throwing a corner guard on the other side. All right, they just put the score up on sheet 4, and Dangerfield stole one. So Sandra gets a good corner guard up. Kitazawa's going to throw one back in the middle here. So Kitazawa ends up just on the side of the center, kind of blocking any draw around that corner guard. So Team Cowan electing to ignore it. Trying to hit the one in the center and roll under the Kitazawa rock in the top 12. Good shot. Short run back, but run backs can be tricky. And super wide on that one. And flashes. That's the break Cowan needed. Now they need to take advantage of it. That one just got away from her. That tracked the whole way down. Alright, so Victoria makes a good one here, coming around the center guard, and Kitazawa's going to have some work to do. Looks like it's coming in nice. And take it all the way to the back 4. It was going deep anyway. They tried to get it full back 8 to avoid the freeze. Couldn't quite get it there. If the Kitazawa team can get one locked on here, it takes away both of the Cowan counters and forces a lot of play to a very small middle. This one looking like it's wide too. Pound it for curl just to get it past the corner guard. And it's going to sail right by these reds. Oh, just ticked one, but yeah. A little heavy, a little wide, not a good combination there. Alright, well, Cowan certainly taking advantage of the break they got with the flash. Got another half miss out of Kitazawa. They can put one where they wanted Victoria's last one. Top 4 under that center guard. They'll be sitting pretty. I think Kitazawa has to start thinking about removing rocks at that point. hands. Wow, they worked that one hard to get it to curl. Or not to, sorry, wrong person in front of it, but that came out nice. It looked super wide to me halfway down. Came over back to the center line. And now Kitazawa has to start hitting. Only bad part about that last rock is it didn't come deep enough to be third shot. In fact, it doesn't outcount either one of the blue counters. It just needed another rock. Be full 8, it would have been pretty darn good. Come on, there's a lot of sweep call at the beginning of that shot. Makes it for fun. Sits right there. Kitazawa's shot rock now. Cowan's gonna have to chase it. Oh, just ticks the guard.
Oh.
Gets just enough of the blue to push it out so that they can be shot, but a lot of competing sweep calls on that one. A lot of curl straight, and just wicked that corner red. Got lucky to catch the blue on the way by. So Kitazawa trying to figure out their options now. They always have that short run back on shot rock.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that they didn't move on that rock sooner. After Suzuki's miss, I was kind of surprised they called that one in to the back one. Just more based on how they play. They tend to be a little more conservative, not take risks, and just keep things clean. But they've definitely let Cowan in on this end. And now they're in a little bit of a dilemma. I mean, it's not like they're out of in a lot of trouble, but there's lots of opportunity here still. Although Nakajima made a great shot there, her last shot coming through that hole, and found the target. And they've shown that they can make those kind of upweight shots. So I'm surprised they didn't start with Nakajima's first shot.
What have they decided on?
Actually, I'm not 100% sure because they were huddled there for so long I got disinterested. All of a sudden they broke.
Oh no, they pierced you. All right. Let's see here. trying to come through that port.
Tap back on go. Inside light.
Oh, that's definitely a guard. Well, I don't know.
I mean, I can kind of see this because I'm not sure how Cowan scores more than 2 here. She's got to come through and hit that one in stick. And that's not the biggest port. Nakajima made it, but after sorry, Jody. Jody came through. She pushed it over more, so that's a even harder port, I think, rock to hit now.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they're okay with giving Cowan one and taking hammer. I think I still would have tried to hit. Like, that's a very short run back for a team with that skill level. I think I would have still played that, but we'll see. I think they're just drawn in based on that ice.
They're going for a tap back.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I see that now. Well, okay. That accomplishes 2 things. If they get the tap back, it works out, and if they open it up, that works out for their last one. I guess get under almost to the center line, ideally. Oh, we have another final. Looks like Tully scored a bundle in 7. Yeah, scored 3 in the 7. It is 6-2. And they're pushing the rocks back. Oh, and Sheila was either way inside or very light. I think way inside, because she moved the center guard. All right. Seems like they think they indicated the nose hit. That is a lot of sweeping right out of the hand.
Got a little lucky.
Didn't take out their back blue.
Open hit for 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, I think they were just looking at that back red and that top blue that are touching the 8-foot and trying to decide if maybe there was a shot for 3. All right, I think they've just settled on the open hit. Bumper weight is the indication. All right, here she goes. Important rock here. Need to make sure you at least get your 2. Okay, clean as the call. Nice shot. So they didn't look at the other rocks at all, so I'm guessing that's just a deuce. Yep, score's already up. All right, so we go into the 8th. It is 8-7 for Kitazawa, and Kitazawa will have the hammer.
All right. As previously reported on sheet 5, Tully opened things up with 5-4, sorry, in the 7th end, and that was it. Thompson had enough and shook hands. So the final score on that one, 6-2. On sheet 4, it looks like I think the score is now 4-3 after
7. They blanked the 7th.
they blanked the 7th?
Yeah.
Okay. So
4-3 for Dangerfield.
yeah, 4-3 for Dangerfield. But De Jong has the hammer going into the 8th end.
All right, we're starting the 8th here on our feature sheet, sheet 3. Sandra trying to come in with a nice center guard. Give the team something to work with here. It's looking pretty good. Right over to that center. Nice shot. Kitazawa coming around.
Winners by. Huh? Winners by. Obviously, of course.
But then you have to buy the second one for the measuring.
What do you want? Ah, yeah, that's right. Shit.
I'll get it.
Nice shot. Come in full top 4. Just touching button, it looks like. Sandra's going to do her best to come down and freeze on that. Derek telling me they called for another guard. Teach me, I was too busy looking at our monitor and not looking at what the skip was calling. Those, she ends up overlapping her first one a little bit, and as soon as they can peel, that's going to be a pretty easy double peel for Kitazawa. If they sink this one around those two overlaps, Cowan's in a little bit of trouble already. Going hard on it. And skipper comes out to help. Never a good idea. They just get in the way. Alright, so it doesn't curl as much as they would have hoped it would, and that gives Sheila a chance to come down to it and bounce some stuff around. Now, if you come down to it, even if you move the things in the house a little bit, I'm pretty sure Kitazawa's just running that double peel. And then it's a lot of work for Team Cowan to find somewhere to hide. So instead of bumping them out, they're coming around the other side. So Victoria's made some really nice draws this game. She needs to make another good one here. This looks pretty good. Coming in, curling up nice. Oh, just a little rub off. And kind of gave half a glance at it and went on up. Let's double peel. Trying to get it for curl. She got a little wide on that, left the guard. Left one of the guards, didn't make the double. I think you got to put another guard up. Alright, so asking Victoria for another guard, slightly higher than their first one. Sweepers aren't touching it yet. Going hard on it for curl. Get it back towards that center line a little more. Okay, not bad. Kitazawa just going to take out the one that's actually on the center line. Which they do, so I think Jody's first is going to be replacing it.
Do you like the positions she's targeting there? I mean, I think I'd rather come over a little more and protect mine and leave the double hit on Kitazawa's 2 stones there.
Yeah, I think if you come over the center line like the other red one is, then Kitazawa can play the slash on their top blue. Get rid of your red. Sit 2 in the top 4. Make life a little difficult. Honestly, I think they're just throwing up guards because they know there'll be appeal. And it's another who makes the first move in the house kind of situation. And it's going to have to be Cowan. She needs to move that blue rock, or, you know, Kitazawa can just afford to keep peeling until Sheila makes a move. So throwing peels and throwing guards and hoping for a miss on a peel. Never a fun situation to be in. She makes the double peel. Alright, that may have made the decision for Team Cowan. Nope, 1 more guard, she says. There you go. Now she's moving over to guard hers. Having a quick discussion about it.
Wonder if Jody's talking about maybe hiding behind the 2 blues. Somehow, they're got to get steal at 2 here.
Well, or steal 1 and hope they can steal again in the
Or
extra.
sorry, yes, a steal of 1, yeah. So, I'm guessing that might be part of the discussion. And we got to look at the 3 shots coming up. Obviously, the blast of those 2 blues is there, but you probably want to save that to the last.
It's interesting. The blues are lined up. It's tough to hide behind them. So you're just kind of hoping for a miss. But no matter what you do, you're kind of hoping for a miss. I think Sandra has come down to remind them that whoever loses this game has to play again at 9 a.m., so they might want to speed up their thought process here. Alright, they settled on the guard. That needs to curl over a lot. Right. Good push. Good push from Sandra, and it does come across the center. Just enough that they're not going to play around with that. They're just going to peel it out. We have another final on sheet 4. Cam just made a really nice soft weight hit and roll to score 2. And he wins 5-4 after 6. Now, I did not see the beginning of the 7th end, and I don't know if Neil called a guard and it just went in the house, and that's why it was a blank, but I'm surprised he played along with Cam and blanked the 7th and let Cam retain hammer into the 8th. But these two teams know each other really well. They play each other a lot in Victoria, so I'm sure he had a plan. He came close. Cam had to make a good one to get the win. But Cam will move on. Neil and team are headed back to the island. Over on our sheet, guard was peeled out successfully, and now Team Cowan is just trying to figure out how best to get a rock in there that can't be removed and might give them something on their last. Looking at freezing into the pocket between the red and the blue rock. I think that's what they settled on for the call. All right. Everybody gathered around the back of the house, all in their black jackets, making it a little difficult to see the shot coming down. I need to be like Monty height so I can see above these people. Looks a hair wide. They're going on it for curl. It's coming in nice now. Still needs to curl some more. That's pretty good. Not quite in the pocket, but she's frozen on top of her red. And I think she might have tapped her red for... I'm not sure it's shot. That is...
It's not going to matter in a second.
All right, Kitazawa's just going to bomb this. Hope that it's... It'll get rid of the back one for sure. Hope it springs the top one out the side. Moves everything around so there's not a lot of options for Sheila on her last. So this should be coming pretty quick. Now we've seen a couple times now they've thrown the high hard ones and they've been setting them out a little wide, which has not gotten the result they were hoping for. That one looked pretty smooth though. Yep. Just holding the line. Bang, both reds go. Leaves both her blues. That's a tough spot. I mean, even if you go where Jody is pointing, it's such an easy blue onto blue. I mean, you don't have any choice. That's the only place you can go, but unfortunately, with Sheila's first just not curling quite enough, it allowed Kitazawa to get rid of both their rocks and not mess up their angles any. So Sheila's got to tuck this under and hope for a miss. First step, just get it there, get it to shot, force them to throw their last. You never know what happens. That looks very late. Yeah, they've given up on it. Just over the hog line. And that'll do it. Kitazawa will take it 8-7. I guess 10-7 because you have to count the 2 rocks in the rings. But either way, Kitazawa wins. Cowan will be back on again at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Do we know who they're playing? Cowan's playing Halfley, and then we'll have Pullet and Work playing. All right. Well, and then we will also have the quarterfinals. We'll have Blandford versus Tolley, a rematch from Vernon. Wakefield versus Krell, and Montgomery and DeYoung for the 19,413th time. Also a rematch from Vernon. Those two were in the finals, or the final. All right, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again at 9 a.m.